Star Wars, Chewie and the Courageous Kid. Chewbacca, the Wookiee, was on a mission. He had helped the rebellion destroy the Empire's dreaded superweapon, the Death Star. And his friends Han, Luke, and Leia needed his help to continue their fight to save the galaxy. But that would have to wait. Chewbacca had something else he needed to take care of first. Unfortunately, the ship Chewbacca had borrowed wasn't working properly. Okay. He would need to fix the flight stabilizer to continue on his journey. So the Wookiee set out for a nearby village to find the part he needed. When Chewbacca reached the local scrapyard, he overheard the manager, a gruff-looking Bizlik, giving a young girl a hard time about the speeder bike she was trying to sell. "No sale. I know you stole this from Jazum," barked the Bizlik. "I bet he'd be more interested in having you back than the bike." Chewbacca respected his fellow smugglers, and he didn't like the look of the electro-stun prod that the manager twisted in his grip. So the Wookiee stepped in just in time for the girl to escape. With a new flight stabilizer in hand, Chewbacca made his way back to his ship, but he soon sensed that he was being followed. It was the girl from the scrapyard. Her name was Zaro. "I need some help," said the girl. "My dad and some of our friends are in big trouble," Chewbacca roared. "You don't have a translator?" Zaro asked. Chewbacca roared again. "Do you have a name?" Chewbacca roared a third time. Zero was puzzled. "I don't know how to say that." Zero would not leave Chewbacca alone. While he was working on fixing his ship, she told him why she needed his help. Jahum, whose speeder bike she had stolen, was a gangster who had captured her and her father, along with many others, and forced them to work in one of his mines. Zero's dad had helped her escape with the bike, but she needed to go back to the mine to rescue him and the others, and she couldn't go alone. Chewbacca groaned. His own mission would have to wait. Back at the entrance to Jazim's mine, Zero showed Chewie an air vent she needed him to climb down. The Wookiee was not pleased about the idea of shinning down a tight air vent, but it was the only way for him to sneak inside without being detected. Zero had the opposite task. She needed to be detected so she could be thrown back into the mine. Zero was relieved to see her father again, but then Jazum arrived. The gangster announced that he was selling the mine, and all the workers trapped inside to the Empire. Zero and her dad were doomed. Suddenly, Chewbacca broke through the crumbling rocks above. He had made his way down the curved air vent and was able to battle Jazum's guards below. But the gangster managed to flee in all the chaos. Chewbacca, Zero, and her father were okay, but they knew Jazum would soon send a flash wave of guards or something much worse down into the mine. Chewie had his bowcaster, but they would need a weapon with more firepower if they were going to battle their way to freedom. That's when the Wookiee spotted a little gonk droid nearby and quickly got to work. Zero had no idea what Chewbacca was doing. But she knew he needed to do it quickly. A rumble tore through the mine. It was a two-wheeled battle droid firing heavy plasma bolts. Bisk! Chewbacca thrust a staff at the battle droid, and it fizzled to a stop. He had rewired the gonk droid and connected it to its power source to the staff. Chewie had made an electro stump out of his own. With all the guards in the battle droids out of the way, Chewbacca was able to make his way out of the mine through the main entrance. He wanted to make sure the coast was clear before Zero and the rest of the workers escaped, but Jizim and his last guard had set a trap. The mine exploded in a fiery blast as Jizim's ship zoomed away from the planet. The evil gangster had gotten away. But Chewbacca had saved the day. It was a struggle, but the Wookiee managed to hold up part of the mine so everyone could run away from the collapsing rock. With the entrance to the mine blocked by rubble, Zero and her father and the workers needed to find another way out. But they spotted something else to worry about. They soon had something else to worry about. Poisonous beetles were crawling their way. "Don't step on them," Zero's father explained. "That sends the swarm into a fury." "We gotta move," Zero said. But slowly, her father added, "If we disturb them at all, they'll attack." Chewie knew that firing his bowcaster at the beetles would probably qualify as disturbing them, but he didn't have a choice. A river of beetles had started to swarm behind them. Fring! The Wookiee fired a well-aimed blast at the ceiling of the mine behind them, causing a cascade of rocks to crumble on top of the beetles so the workers could run them to safety. Zero and the other workers argued about how to escape the mine, but Chewie knew the only way out was up. It was risky. Picking at the rocks above could cause the ceiling to collapse as it had with the beetles. But it was their only option, and Chewbacca was the only one strong enough to try it. Chewie grabbed a mining shovel and a long rope and started climbing. It was hard work, slowly, carefully chipping away at the dirt and the rock while holding himself up. Chewbacca didn't like how often he was finding himself wiggling through such tight spaces. And he was glad when it was over. Safely outside the mine, Chewie dropped the rope through the passageway he had created and pulled up Zero and her father, and each of the other workers, one by one. "I'll never be able to thank you for keeping her safe and rescuing us," Zero's father told Chewbacca, as Zero gave the Wookiee one last hug. Chewbacca simply roared a friendly goodbye. Chewbacca returned to his ship and zoomed off into the stars. He had helped Zero complete her mission, and now he had to finish his own. The galaxy needed Chewbacca. He had to return to his friends in the rebellion to keep fighting the Empire. But first, he wanted to see his family. That was the most important mission of all.